morning, ladies and gentlemen from Manila, Philippines. My name is Professor Ricky Lim. I'm at the Asian Institute of Management in Makati, which is a part of Manila. This is our case room. You'll be seeing overclips of case classes in action. As a professor, I sit here in the pit. This is where we facilitate discussions of 60 or more people exchanging ideas with each other. This is the essence of AIM. When you come here, you'll be learning with this system. And at the end of the 18 months or 11 months, depending upon the program that you come here for, you'll be able to pick up analytical, listening, and processing skills like you've never had before. I am here today to present to you in about 15 to 20 minutes the concept of design thinking. It's a hot new topic, but as in any hot new topic, we would like to show how it really is a derivative of other ideas and how it's similar or not to other concepts in management. Let's begin. Where is design thinking used? Well, it's used for innovation. Innovation is a buzzword that's more and more salient because companies are largely undifferentiated and therefore seek new ways, new products, new ways to service people in order to be different than the rest. So I'm going to talk today about where it's used. I'm going to talk about how to use the design thinking process. What similar movements are there that are related to design thinking, and sum it all up. So where is it used? It's used in new product development. Companies such as IDEO and InnoSight use design thinking as a way to develop new products. It's used in software engineering. For you IT guys, it's also known as XP, Extreme Programming, or Agile Programming. It's used in Hollywood films. Pixar uses it a lot in doing storyboards for Toy Story 3 or for WALL-E. The first use of storyboards was actually for a very famous movie called Raiders of the Lost Ark. That movie with Harrison Ford was directed by Steven Spielberg at a very low cost, only because Steven Spielberg used design thinking in developing that film. It's used in business model design, in strategy and OD consulting, which we do here at AIM. And finally, we use it here for rapid case analysis for case competitions. So what is design thinking? Well, let me show you a slide that is developed by my good friend Gene Lidka from the Darden School of Business at the University of Virginia. Gene Lidka has a 4-stage model: what is, what if, what wows, what works. But she is only one of many kinds of design thinking. I happen to think she's the best. I happen to think that her online course in design thinking is well worth the investment, and I urge you to take it up if you can't do it from close up. Okay? But what I will use in this next slide is a more generic form of design thinking that consists of 5 circles or 5 steps. The first 2 circles that you see on the left is for Gene Lidka the what is phase. In this phase, and we go to the next slide, we try to go to the field. We observe users at work or at play. We observe what pains them, their emotions, what goes through their minds, what things that they do. Not so much what they plan, but we want to capture actual behaviors. In effect, design thinking requires you to be almost like Margaret Mead, sociologist, observing tribes. In the case of Margaret Mead, she did this a long time ago for Pacific Islanders. In today's design thinking, you have to be Margaret Mead, but for shoppers at malls, or people who send their car to the mechanics and have to wait. Those are the tribes that we're inspecting today. So the trick in this first stage, and this is the most important trick, is to be able to capture the deep needs, the deep pains of customers. Then and only then can you arrive at superior solutions. For the next slide, the next stage is now what Gene Lidka calls the what if. Here, we use the ancient technique called brainstorming. We generate lots and lots of wild ideas in a short amount of time. The wild ideas themselves, the wilder the better. Not that they're ever going to be used, but the wild ideas themselves become posts by which we are able to generate new, superior ideas. The trick here is to use the power of the group. You build on each other's ideas. You don't criticize. You develop as you go along, viable solutions. This is the what if phase. The final phase, the final two circles on the right, consists now of another critical element of design thinking, in that you fail often to succeed sooner. Failing by how? Developing paper prototypes, crude prototypes that you immediately show to the users. The users criticize them, critique them, say what they like and don't like, then go back to the drawing board. You do this fast, you try to do this cheap. The other axiom of design thinking is you fail fast, fail cheap. This is unlike classic product design, where the good designers go into some dark room and think about a beautiful design, and after 6 months come out with it, expecting, of course, that the users will love it. This works sometimes, such as the iPhone of Steve Jobs, but most often it does not work. And believe me, Steve Jobs himself has some duds like the Apple Lisa and initially the Mac, but that eventually became a success. So this is it. Design thinking is about the process of eliciting user pains, brainstorming solutions, and testing them on the users fairly rapidly. But design thinking is not original. Design thinking is actually sharing a lot of qualities of this next slide, which we call extreme programming or agile. This is a manifesto that programmers came out with 10 years ago when they thought that the traditional systems development lifecycle waterfall approach of traditional IT was too slow. In it, you could see this circular motion where users, programmers, develop programs fast or apps, and they immediately test it with the users. Users criticize it, and they go back to the drawing board, so on and so forth. This is called, I think, scrums. These are called fast breaks, depending upon the version of Agile that you use. Design thinking is also present in this next slide called Lean. Lean Startup by a fellow named Eric Ries. Here, Eric Ries and a few others pioneered the cheap but effective way of developing new products in a lean way, failing fast, failing cheap. You could see also the circular motion, okay, where they have fast breaks, which they call, please let me take my glasses off, creative sprints and design reviews. It's the same as the Scrum and the fast breaks in Agile programming. Not finally, but another iteration of this, and this is related to Lean, this is related to Agile, is Alex Osterwalder's business model canvas. More and more business schools are using it now because it's a powerful tool for depicting the way you connect elements of your business model together. You start, of course, in the center with the unique value proposition, and it's supported by a revenue and a cost model, by the type of customers you're targeting, the outside people you're using, the resources that are available to you. But all of that is based upon what are the pains, the gains, the jobs to be done by users. And how do you get those jobs to be done, pains and gains? It's by design thinking. Finally, here at AIM, we join a lot of case competitions and we do very well at them. Why? We give the contestants in places like HALT or Thammasat or Sasina are given cases to analyze in a very short amount of time. Design thinking also works well for that, in that we iterate through all of the problems of the case, eventually coming to a superior solution. Design thinking is for systemic or wicked problems. It's not very good when you have a linear problem to be solved with a single solution. You don't use design thinking when there's a fire and you have to sit down and iterate. No, you get the heck out of the building. That's a linear problem. Design thinking, rather, is for wicked problems, such as the traffic problem that we have here in Manila, or addiction to cigarette smoking or to alcohol, or it's to corruption in government. These are systemic problems, not one solution, but many. Design thinking is not about experts. In fact, design thinking says that everybody involved with design thinking is not an expert. You have to listen to the user. That's what it's all about. Users are the center of your world, and this is why design thinking is also known as HCD, human-centered design. There is a new school at Stanford called the D School, and that D School is completely devoted to human-centered design. Design thinking is not deductive, nor is it inductive thinking. Okay? It is what we call abductive thinking, where you can think of many issues before you come to a conversion into a solution. Design thinking, therefore, complements linear, analytical, and systems thinking, which are more cause and effect. Okay? Finally, design thinking is not design management. We don't expect design thinkers to be able to draw very well or to form sculptures very well. Those are designers. Design thinkers, rather, are the people who are able to listen to users, observe them, and make powerful insights of the users at work. With design thinking and the rest of the types of the thinking hats that we give you at AIM, you become a more robust, more analytical, thoughtful, but also a more flexible manager who could see big picture, small picture, medium picture, and therefore make better decisions for your organization. Again, I hope to see all of you, maybe this time in person. Come here to AIM. Come experience the joys and the pains of going through these very rigorous 11 to 18 months that you spend with us. Learn about design thinking and about many other interesting cutting-edge concepts in management. Have a nice rest of the day and rest of the month and the rest of 2018. Thank you.